Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a bit controversial, possibly, because I don't actually really promote habits or positivity. So, whilst this video is not going to teach you how to set a new morning routine or a nighttime routine or anything like that, it is going to teach you why I don't promote habits and positivity and what to do instead so that you can actually get the results that you want. When you go out there into the world, right, and start to search for success habits and, how to be positive, how to have a positive mindset, it's usually because you are operating from a self-concept that is outdated and that thinks it has things that it is missing and that it has problems to solve and that it has all of these, right, like things that it needs to be, do, and have that it's not, which on some level, like, is true. The you that you are now watching this video is a self concept. It is a concept of yourself made up of multiple identities. That's where people, like with identity shifting, get it wrong. And you can watch another video about identity shifting there. It's like, it's not about, there's not just one identity that you need to step into. You're actually operating from multiple identities. Even in this video that you're watching with me right now, you are switching between, like, so you're definitely a child of two parents, right? I don't know what sex you are, male or female. So that's like another identity, right? Whether you identify as transgender, then that's potentially another identity. Then, and maybe you had siblings, maybe you don't have siblings, maybe you were adopted. So those are, again, like, either only child, sibling, adopted, like those are three potential other identities in, again, like 5 minutes. We haven't even started like an actual conversation together, but those are then three identities. You might be married, or you might be in a relationship, you might be divorced, you might be single, you might be a widow. Like, there's another 10, 5 maybe identities, right? That are also true for you in this moment. Then you might be a business owner, you might be employed, you might be a manager or a leader, you might, like, however you want to identify and however you haven't even been aware of the fact that you have identities and that you are playing all these roles. So identity, we hold many of them, is what I call a high leverage point of change. It's not the highest, right? Your soul state, what I call your soul state, is one of the highest. And then even above that is like the source of everything, source of energy. Some people call it God, but like not an anthropomorphic, like man-made God, right? Like actual, like just the source of everything, even the source of all religions. Like there's even something above religion that we have to just acknowledge. And even like there's potentially another couple of identities for you. You might be an atheist. You might be spiritual more than religious, right? You might have been brought up in a particular religion, but now does not, denounced it, or now you still maybe have your faith, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here. But the whole point is that you have multiple identities. And those identities inform your self-concept, your personality, right? It informs like the way that you operate in the world and the way that you, ready for it, behave and either take certain actions or not. And actions are really just habits. And so when you can't change behaviors, when you can't change habits, it's usually because some identity that you have, some role that you have, some concept of yourself that you have, right, doesn't think it's a priority, isn't aligned with it, etc. So the real work that I do is I don't teach you necessarily new success habits. Like, these are the 10 things you need to do, because what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. What works for you might not work for me. And like, all the people's books that you read, like whatever they're doing might not be what's aligned for you. So I teach aligned living in the Aligned Living Collective. It's a brand new schools community that I created to really house all of my work and my content and my coaching and my family constellation circles and all the things. So if you are really wanting to change anything in any area of your life, aka manifest, right? Some people call it manifestation, some people call it just like change. If you're wanting to change something, and you're like, whether it's, I don't know what it is. It might be like you want to lose weight, or it might be that you want to have a better relationship with your partner, or it might be that you want to attract a partner that like actually stays and like treats you well and respects you and like, loves you and is reciprocated in terms of the love that you are giving them and are ready to give someone. Or you might be a leader, like struggling with the people, in your team and at work. Or you might be, the founder of a business, and you're like, fuck, like, I need to be a new business owner, like a really professional, successful business owner. Business might be tanking, and I'm like, I need to be successful as a business owner. So I need now success habits, like, to help me. Whatever it is, like whatever the thought process was or is that got you here to type in, like, I need a success habit and I need a positive mindset. That's actually what we need to work with and understand and unravel and unpack, is like, is the you that you are now really actually aligned with the you that is actually essentially available to you and is actually what's possible for you? Because who you essentially are at your soul state is way more capable, vital, wealthy, healthy, connected, etc., abundant as the you that you think you are, with all the limited selves and all the limited, like identities, because they're not necessarily limited, but just with the limited perception and awareness that you have of who you are and what's possible. Because who you are right now, the self-concept that you have right now, all the identities that you have right now, largely were injected, right, taken on, learned from when you were pre-verbal in utero and when you were largely unconscious. Right? You probably are only just beginning your conscious journey of like understanding yourself and like how to navigate through life. And even if you've been on the fucking journey for long, like me, I started mine at 10 years old. There's still so much more to learn about ourselves and to really unpack and to tweak so that we can experience life in the way that is truly aligned for us. So habits, okay, are a low leverage point of change. Behaviors, I should say, are a low leverage point of change. Identity is much higher. Identity is informing, right? So let's just pretend for shits and giggles that you are, in fact, a leader and a parent simultaneously. Okay. So you go into you have a job and you have a team of people or whatever, and you also are a parent of children. Okay. So let's now say, so those are two identities that we're working with. Okay. So the first thing you have to recognize is that each one of those identities has potentially very different associated values, things that are important to it, AKA priorities. And those priorities and those values are going to inform what those identities believe is right and wrong and good and bad and better and worse and appropriate and inappropriate, etc. So the you that's the leader might believe, and because you value, right, getting a promotion and doing really well at work and achieving things. So that identity as a leader might believe that it's actually okay to stay late at work and to put in extra hours because that's what you do. Ooh, there's that word, doing. That's what you do. That's a belief. That's what people do. People who want to achieve something in life work hard. That's a belief about what you do that is informed by a value, working hard, achieving, right? A couple of values there, associated to an identity of like being a leader, being an accomplished leader even. So that energy of that identity and those values and those beliefs literally neurologically cascade down and inform the behaviors that you either take or don't take as a leader. So you're either going to find yourself in a resulting reality, environment, right? World, life, etc. Like life, environment, reality is the same thing. You're going to find yourself in a resulting environment where you are working late, working long hours, doing what you need to maintain the identity of a high achieving leader. But now the parent in you, right, when you've got kids that are now like, graduating from different grades and they're going and getting like little awards and it's the end of the year and, they've got their little Christmas parties or their school holiday, play or whatever. And now you also, as the parent, want to be there for them because maybe your parents weren't there for you or like whatever, right? Like you see how these other dynamics start to come into play with each and every single one of us, right? Same shit, different story. We all have the same shit. It's just a different story. And so now as a parent, you might be like, oh, fuck, like I actually want to go be there for my kid, but I also am this leader that's like trying to build my career. And if I don't build my career and I don't make the money and I don't get promoted, I won't be able to feed my kids and provide for them. So now you've got two identities within yourself that are at odds with each other, which is why now, right, it becomes the question of like, do you do the things, do you do the habits? Like you might be like, okay, this is my perfect morning routine. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to stay, right? And I'm going to have all these meetings with my team members and blah, 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 and all these different actions and routines and habits. But now they might go out the fucking window when your child is like either stuck at school or sick or needs you or wants you, right? Because that identity of your parent might trump the leader one. We don't know. I don't know. That's why, like, I'm not in the business of solving your problems or resolving problems. If you're trying to resolve things and trying to solve things, it's never going to work because you're just going to you can't solve the problem from the mindset and the frame of from the system that created it. You've got to transcend it. You've got to outcreate it. You've got to dissolve everything that's in the way, remove everything that is in the way and update everything that's in the way of actually creating it and experiencing it and manifesting it. So so I don't know where the leverage is that we need to go to create the habits or the doing, right? The behavior, it's a habit that results in the environment that you want, because I don't really know what reality you're trying to create or manifest. But here's the kicker, okay? You might think that you want to create this reality of like, I'm a high achiever, I'm going to be a leader, I'm going to get promoted, I'm going to make all this money. But that might not be what's actually aligned for you, because you might be operating from programming where like that's what your parents expected of you and projected onto you, that you must go and get a job and be this and be a leader and be successful. And you can only make money if you're in a job, and you can't make money if you're an entrepreneur. When actually what might be aligned for you is fucking, being an entrepreneur, staying at home, doing this business that you've always had within inside of you, and like, so that you can balance make your own hours and balance your work-life scenario and be there for your kids when you want to and whatever. Just a bit of a typical example with my clients. Wonder if it relates to you. Okay, so now let's go into positivity. Okay, so setting a positive mindset all the time, it's not natural. Energy, right, which is the work that I do, I teach you about energy intelligence and how to access the energetics, which are things like leverage points of change and your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your beliefs, and all the identities that you're operating from, and all of the different thinking preferences that you have, and right, like all the things that inform you as a human being and that make you, right, like just operate in this lifetime. Energy is made up of positive and negative charges, and we only get light, like literal light, when those charges come together. Okay, complementary opposites in equal amounts come together. So in nature, from the micro to the macro, there is always equilibrium between charges. It's just that our limited human perception can't see both daylight and nighttime simultaneously. But just as well as I do, that even though it's day now, that there is darkness, that there's like nighttime to the same degree somewhere else in the world that is as real and as true for someone else experiencing and perceiving that in that moment. But we, for whatever reason, cannot perceive both day and night simultaneously, even though we know. So this is the thing, is like we've got to, I teach you how to have this knowing with everything in your life so that you can see that there's inherently no such thing as good or bad, right or wrong, better or worse, left or right, praise and criticism. You will always have both of those charges, both of those sides, the positive and the negative, all the variations of positive and negative, in the same moment in equilibrium, coming from different sources, either within yourself or from external people, situations, experiences, and relationships. Because either you are going to be collapsing the charge yourself and noticing it within yourself, or the universe is going to fucking send in reinforcements to do it for you. Which is why when we are like sitting on Pride Rock, we get humbled, or when we're like down in the dumps and we, like completely depressed and whatever, we get supported by other people, and we, people come in to like praise us and bring us up. But we can never just be like down and out in the dumps for too long, because we will never survive, nor can we be supported all the time and only praised and only positive, because that's not natural and normal either. You'll never survive in the real world if you're only like supported and mollycoddled. So we need equal amounts of support and challenge, positive and negative, good, bad, right, wrong, praise, criticism, and all, again, the variations of those complementary opposite charges in equal amounts in order for us to grow and evolve, instead of revolve and try and resolve the same problem over and over and over again. That's why you get stuck in patterns that repeat, because it's just essentially lopsided perceptions that you haven't yet collapsed. I'm getting so quantum physics on you. I know. I'm sorry. It's like we've just met. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. But this is what happens. This is why like all this other fucking repackaged, repurposed self-help bullshit out there doesn't actually work and get you anywhere. Right? So no amount of success habits are going to get you anywhere. No amount of positive mindset is going to get you anywhere if you're not in alignment, if your energies are not aligned with what is actually true for you and your soul state, right? And a soul doesn't have identities. Energy doesn't have an identity. It is no thing. It is everything. It is pure infinite potentiality that is not yet differentiated and come into three-dimensional reality. And you've got to understand that. So we are energetic beings first, having a human three-dimensional experience. So you've got to master both the energetics and the human behavior. And most things that you learn out there discount one or both. Like they don't even think about either of them. They just like, give you like all this fluff that means nothing and does nothing for you. And then you think there's something wrong with you, which perpetuates the lie, and that there's something missing, that there's something wrong, that there's something else that you need, right? And it perpetuates judgment, that you're wrong, and that there's something that you, right, wrong, good, bad, better, worse, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing missing. I'm going to say it again. You just need to learn a different way of being and a different way of accessing energy, which is the thing that is informing you everything about you, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your words, like the seemingly physical, environment and reality that you find yourself operating in, which is a bit of a mindfuck. I know, because everything is, seemingly physical, but yet it's all energy. And it's actually, when they tell you it's like 99.999% empty space, it's like, but it is. So we can't let's not debate it. Let's not argue with it. Let's not deny it. Let's not try and rationalize it. Let's just like go with it. Just like learn about it. Become one with the energy that you actually are and make it a little bit more easy for you. Because when you can allow your energy to flow and be in alignment, you can create, generate, institute, actualize, manifest, whatever the fuck, change anything in any area of your life with greater ease and speed and consistency, including those very real, tangible contexts that you operate in with your kids, with your partner, at work, with your family, right? Like interpersonal dynamics and challenges. It's made up of words, thoughts, emotions, actions. When you want to fucking wring someone's neck and they've pushed your buttons, like, where's the button? Where's your button? Show me the button. It's that they've energetically said or done something, or you are thinking that they've said or done something, right? Whether they actually have or not is also like up for grabs. We don't know yet. That is energetically, right? Like impacted you. And so when you start to understand the sources of inspiration that inform how you think, how you emote, your nervous system, your brain, right? All those different things, then suddenly, and it's practical, and it's duplicatable, and it's replicatable, right? That's why I talk about these practical, duplicatable frameworks and models that I use in my practice to make the energetics tangible for you to access them, right? Like when I talk about access the energetics and learn energy intelligence, it's not like some fucking woo thing that, we're going to like sit there and meditate and like contemplate our navel, because how well, like you can't, when the shit's hitting the fan at work and you're having interpersonal challenges and conflicts with your people, right? Like going and sitting and meditating for 20 minutes is not going to help in the moment. You've got to understand energetically, like what they are thinking, what their motivational drivers are, what their emotion, like, what is important to them. What are their values? What are their conflicting identities that they are potentially operating from unconsciously, largely, right? They'll be doing it this unconsciously, because that's also another irony of this work that I do, is that the majority of the people that actually do work with me, right, are open and curious and like interested in self-growth and development. And they've tried all the things. And the people that they are engaging with and having the tough, challenging time with are the people that need this more than even you do, right? But anyway, like you are the person to be here, and you are going to have to change, and not even have to, but like once you start to align your own energies and start to transform, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, it just transforms. So once you start to do this transformational work, right, and align your energies, the outside experience of your reality and aka life or relationships experiences will change as well in accordance to you. Gandhi wasn't talking shit. He knew what he was saying. Got to be the change you wish to see in the world. Even if, like, and this is not about saying that when you change other people. It just means that, like, when you start to learn this and you start to align your energies and update your programming and really align with what is possible for you and what is available to you, which you potentially may not have even considered, right? Operating from your limited self-concept, then suddenly what happens is that the outside energetics reorganize themselves because they are reflecting back to you what's going on within you. So you might stop repeating the same patterns. You might stop attracting the same unavailable, individuals or difficult individuals. You might stop having conflict within your team. They might start hearing you better. Why? Because you know yourself better. And when you know yourself, you can spot clues in other people. And you can be like, that's why this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So what I teach is not woo. It's not fucking out there. It's not, it's very practical and pragmatic. It's just that you've got to recognize that the you that you are now, the self-concept that you are operating from now, might not want to go and learn this and go any further, because your ego doesn't want to die. It wants to survive, because these are the mechanisms, these are the identities, these are the concepts of yourself that you have survived up until this point with. They have served you well. And so it's not about just like throwing them out with, but it's just about honoring all parts and pieces of yourself, because you didn't know any better when you were learning whatever survival strategies and mechanisms, largely unconsciously, that you are now operating from. But now, with conscious awareness and being more aware and more in alignment and being able to address everything, you will be able to anchor in and actualize and manifest and set new routines that actually work for you, set new habits that work for you. There'll be habits that are in alignment for you, and you won't be positive, trying to like seek the positive and avoid the negative, which just basically sets up those revolutions for you to go around and around and around. You'll actually just see things for what they are. And it's not that you'll not enjoy anything because you're not being positive or negative anymore. You'll just be truly grateful, right? Because when there's equilibrium, when you collapse the charges, and you'll just have like tears of gratitude for what is as it is, including like the shit times, not just the good times, because you won't be looking out your ass with, and looking and having hindsight, back, right? Like looking out your ass, hindsight. You'll be having insight in the moment about like how things are actually always working out for you, whether you can see it or not. And the fulfillment that you have, right? You will be fulfilling your soul state in actuality, in physicality, which is awesome. It's like amazing because it's like pure, unadulterated possibility, potentiality coming into form, which is why I always say you can manifest anything with greater ease and speed and consistency because that source energy just like flows through. There's nothing like, there's no interruptions. There's no kinks in the hose pipe. There's no knots. There's no entanglements preventing that energy from just flowing through. It's transformational, powerful stuff. If you're keen to dive deeper and learn more and work with me, I think I mentioned already that I've got the Aligned Living Collective. I'll leave the links in my description. It'll be so lovely to have you there. It's completely free to join. It's a pick your own adventure. And come check it out. Check us out. You don't have to perform in there. You don't have to it's not a social, it's not like a Facebook thing where you have to, it's not like that at all. It's a very safe, sacred space. There's more videos to tell you more about it. And I'd love to see you there. All right, my beautiful friend, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and give me some love in the comments and on this video, like it. And I'll see you in the next one.